Hello, my name is Sara Oehler. I'm the Sales and Marketing Manager for Softflex Company. You can find us at www.softflexcompany.com. Today I'm going to be doing a live design challenge. It's a concept I came up with quite a long time ago, like over a year ago now. I've been doing this unbelievably. And I'm just hoping I'm actually live because I'm not seeing anybody pop on here, which is, oh, there's a couple people, good. All right, so I am doing a live design challenge today. The concept is that a company sends me a box. This time it is goodybeads.com, and I have no idea what is in the box. I'm going to open it up. We're gonna see what's inside it, and ooh and ah over whatever beads or items they've sent, and then we're going to make something using some of the items in the box. All of the items in the box you'll be able to find at goodybeads.com, and you're going to learn a little bit more about them today, and they should be jumping on here shortly to answer any of your questions. Hi Martha, hey Karen. So as people are jumping on, I just wanted to thank all of you for ordering your Simply Sonoma kits. We sold out of those in less than 72 hours, I think. So they went fast. And for those of you that asked about them over the weekend and we're still hoping to get one, we just don't have enough. The kits are always going to be limited by what items we're using because I try to make them all fairly similar so everybody's getting kind of the same thing. And we had a specialty bead in that specific kit where we could only make a certain number, and that'll be true in the next kit too, which I was working on today for next month. It has a really beautiful special crystal in it that's limiting the number of kits that we'll be able to make, but I guess that kind of makes them special. So it all works out in the end. If you didn't get one last time, just make sure you jump on it really quickly next time, and we'll have those up and available the day of this video, which will be the 25th, for the Simply Sonoma kit. So be ready to purchase your next kit that day if you really want to get one. So we've got several people on now, and I think I'm going to go ahead and, oh, Mary Ellen says she's making a bunch of beaded bookmarks right now using Softflex. That sounds awesome. Hey, and did you guys see this? This was one of my designs that got published last year. It was in Jewelry Affair. If you've ever seen that magazine, you can always find it in Barnes & Noble. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous magazine. They use a really good quality material paper, and they take beautiful pictures. Hey, and look at it. We've got even a friend here from Germany. Is it Birgit? I just want to make sure or is it Birgit? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it properly. My last name is Oehler, spelled O-E-H-L-E-R. It's German, and nobody can pronounce it because of the silent O at the beginning. So I'm going to flip down and we'll go ahead and start opening up the box. So I definitely know all about that. Okay, hey Dawn. Oh, hey Wanda. Where is my flippy? There it is. Okay, here we go. Got my Goody Beads box. I'm pretty excited about this. Hopefully Goody Beads will be jumping on here pretty soon. Oh, hi Mara from Istanbul. We've got people from all over today. That's fantastic. One of my favorite things about beading is that people do it all over the world. And it's such a beautiful thing to connect us. I said to somebody just the other day, you know, it's one of the arts and crafts that will always be around and always has been around as far as human beings are concerned. It's one of like the first things that were found with human being remains are beads. You know, it's just such a special thing. It's not like Shrinky Dinks, which, you know, I love Shrinky Dinks, but they have a short shelf life. They're a very specific period of time, whereas general beading and adornment is something we've been doing since the beginning of humans. So it's pretty amazing how it can connect people from so many different cultures and so many different backgrounds on a very human level because we all love it. Oh, good. Goody Beads just jumped on. Perfect. Okay, so goodybeads.com. I meant to trim this. I'm going to go ahead and trim it now. Goody Beads was kind enough to set up a coupon code for all of you. So I'm going to set it down here on my my pad that I'm working on so everyone can see it anytime during the video, and make sure they take advantage of that nice offer at goodybeads.com. It's coupon code SOFTFLEX, and it's good until 4/18/18, which is awesome. And this is the website for the company that we're looking at today. I'm going to tape that down because I know how messy I get, and we know it will go all over the place. And no one will get to see it if I don't put some tape on it and keep it in place here. I don't know what's in the box. I know, that's the best part. Yeah, I got to do one of these last week and this week. This is really fun. Look at the cute little sticker. Okay, so let's see, what is Goody Beads up to? Oh, look at the beautiful artwork. goodybeads.com. Bead happy, save always. Nice. Hi, Sarah. We're so excited to see that you will make what you will make with our goodies. We've added lots of our favorite products. They all can be found on goodybeads.com under Trends We Love SOFTFLEX Live Design Challenge. And we're offering a site-wide 20% off coupon. They did change the expiration date because if you remember, I was going to do Goody Beads and then my coworkers came to town and I had to move them out. So the coupon code is actually 4/18/18. And coupon code SOFTFLEX. Thanks, Tori and Team Goody. This is beautiful. Look at those beads. Could eat them up. That looks awesome. All right, we've got a big bag. Let's see what we got in here, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, this is exciting. Okay, so let's start with this little canister. Has a little goodybeads.com logo on it. Master with Swarovski. Oh, okay, so it looks like there is a mixture, and these look like 4mm Swarovski bicones. And it's a mixture with some really beautiful light pink, which is very popular this year. Sort of an olivey green, and then a variety of browns. Really pretty. And guess what? I can even, I mean, don't Swarovskis just sparkle like there's no tomorrow? What a pretty color assortment. That's going to be really fun to work with. So Master Mix with Swarovski, and it's 4mm crystals. Ooh, these look neat. Bib connectors. If my bib looked like this, I would definitely wear a bib. These are great. We used one kind of like this in our new book, Seed Bead Revolution. I'll have to pull that out and show you guys that project. And it's kind of hard to find these. So if you have been eyeing that project in the book, Goody Beads might be a really great place to go get this big connector. It's got a connection on either side and then one on the bottom. This is actually, I think, just perfect for that design. I'm going to grab it so we can look at it real fast. And then there's a smaller one that has a bunch of connectors at the bottom. Let me grab my book real fast. Yeah, it's a design Kristen made. And we used a piece from Jesse James Beads. It's definitely different. It's bigger. But it has the same basic makeup with the loops on either end and then a loop on either end on the front so you can dangle some wires below it. So if you've been wanting to make this design because you have the book, this would make a great supplement for that piece to make that design. All right, so we've got two of those. Let's see what else we have. We've got another baggie with what looks like some really cool tassels. I'll always take a tassel, some beautiful deep dark red tassels. These are almost the same color as that new color of Swarovski, the new Scarlet. I think it's called Scarlet. And then a nice dark, deep dark chocolate brown tassel. Tassels. Cool. They're a perfect size too. I like these little tassels, are so cute in earrings. So maybe we can make some cute earrings with those. And we've got a bunch of silver. We've got a toggle clasp and got some metal beads. So Goody Beads was started as a byproduct of a handmade jewelry designer's bead stash. So she started mass producing her jewelry and then found she wasn't using all of her stock, so she started selling beads, and it just grew and grew from there. So I always really like, we found that last week with Kelly too, when the store owner is a designer, you can get some really awesome materials at their store because they've got an eye for really good stuff. These are cool. I like these a lot. Boop. So we got kind of a random assortment. Ooh, these are interesting. Let's pull these out and look at them. These are curved. So I'm gonna get like a really neat curve with these. You could probably even do like a bead between, and it's gonna kind of shape to your wrist, which would be really neat. And then we could also hang soft flex from it to make a really cool dangle. I could see that being really awesome too. Let's leave those out so we can play with those for sure. And then there's some smaller guys that are very similar, just big tubes that can go with those. Everything I'm opening for those of you who've just joined us is from goodybeads.com. And there is a coupon code, so anything you're seeing here, I assume, is going to be available on their website, and you'll be able to buy that there too. Some basic beads. Yeah, the tubes are really cool, aren't they, Dawn? I like them. Some ear wires. Ooh, these are cool. So they're calling these Bali style beads and findings. So they're Bali silver. Although if they're Bali style, they might be silver plated. You'll have to tell us, are these Bali silver or are they Bali style because they're silver plated? Goody beads. These are cool. I like the little ornamentation at the bottom, the little metal bead. Trying to get to where you guys can actually see this really well. So those are cool. And definitely use those with the tassels to make some cool earrings. Seeing all that come together. Sally says so many good components. I know. It's definitely going to be easy to be inspired today. I won't be pulling my teeth out trying to figure it out. Oh, they sent some cool lampwork beads too. Let's see. Pretty. Oh, these are really pretty little flower beads. See the bottoms? These would make a great, maybe with the chocolate brown, a great simple earring with a little tassel. It's all coming together, you guys. It is all coming together. Okay, silver plated. So the ear wires and the materials, they look like they're silver plated. I thought that was probably the case, which is good. Sometimes you don't need the sterling silver. Wow, look at the detail on these, you guys. It's so pretty. Really, really lovely. These would make great earrings too, maybe even. Looking pretty good. Hi, Anna. These are pretty similar to the last ones. They're just even bigger. They would make a fantastic bracelet. Might be a little too big for this, but let me get you a little detail shot here so you can see it. So the hole is running, and it's a nice big hole too. And then you've got just some really beautiful details on the flowers. Lovely. Okay. Got some pretty beads, and we've got one more package to open, and then we'll start kind of playing around and seeing what we can do with this stuff. So these are super light, whatever this is. These are called miracle beads, and they are super duper light. Huh. They're a really pretty light pink color. Let me empty them into this other bin here so you can see them pretty well. And then there's a smaller one too, so we'll move those in. Really light. Those will make great earring beads. Super light, and they could even possibly work in my idea of just making a simple bracelet with this thing. I'm curious how that would work. Okay, so let's start off. With some earrings, since I was definitely inspired right away to just do like a simple earring with tassels. I'm trying to decide, this pink and this red seem like they would work well together, but let's pull it out and take a look. And I had seen a really good tip from Kate Richburg, who I'm actually going to be seeing next week. I'm doing a live video with beadshop.com next week on their Facebook page. They're in Redwood City, California, so I'm actually going to brave going over the Bay Bridge in the morning to go see them on the peninsula. They're kind of south of San Francisco. But I saw a really great tip from her one day about these tassels, and how if you find that they're curling like this, you can wet them down, and oftentimes that'll sort of straighten that back out, so that it's, acting a little bit more normal. So if you got just like hair, if you wet it down a little bit, you'll get a nice straight tassel. I thought that was so handy because I am always stuffing my jewelry in all sorts of places, and my tassels get kind of funky. So what do you guys think of this tassel with this bead? Do you think the red color works with the pinks and reds in the bead, or do you think I should try the brown? I'd love to hear what you think. I think it's kind of cool, the red. I don't mind it. I thought I might when I first looked at it, but I think it's kind of good, actually. And then I can get maybe a white soft flex. Let me grab my white soft flex for it. I'll grab a couple colors. We'll be doing some different things here. Let's see if I have some white available. As always the trick in the box of goodies here. Oh, I have bone. Bone could be cool. Kind of a messy spool of bone. This is a nicer spool. Okay, so we've got some bone. I'll put my soft flex over here. vanilla might be kind of cool, but I think it might mismatch a little bit too much. Okay, so let's try the bone. I like bone and white a lot because they can really just sort of mix in with a lot of different things. Oh, so good. Rochelle says she's going to watch. Yeah, Kate and Emily are fantastic. They make great stuff. I learn a lot when I get the chance to watch. I always learn something new from them. So if you haven't gone over to beadshop.com to check out their videos, you should do that. You should also go to Goody Beads, which I linked on this video, and make sure you're following them on Facebook too, so you can see what they're up to. Okay, so I've got my soft flex in my medium diameter, my 0.019. I'm using the bone color. This is obviously a pretty old spool. It's a 100-foot spool, and I'm almost done with it. So it's looking a little rugged from being carried around everywhere. But for those of you that aren't familiar with soft flex, medium is the most commonly used diameter. It's our all-purpose glass mineral metal, and it comes in the widest color assortment. So it's what I use the most frequently. And the holes on these are not bad, but I'm probably gonna need a bead. I wonder if this will fit. I'm curious, will my soft flex fit through the 4mm twice? No, it will not. So that's good to know. I'm looking at the beads just so you know, because when I go to crimp it at the top, when it's got a pretty big hole, if I use the magical crimpers, it'll slide right into it. So in this case, if I don't have another small bead to put with it, what I'm going to do is I'll probably use the regular crimping pliers and then a crimp cover so it holds it in place and it doesn't move around a lot. That's what we'll do. So I'm just going to cut myself a decent size of soft flex. Let's say like 6 inches. And I'm going to take my tassel and just string it to the center of the wire. You don't have to worry about the bottom so much because the tassel will stop it from going anywhere. So I doubled over my wires and then I string them both through. Some of you have probably seen me do an earring like this before, but I just think these are so super cute with the little tassels, and they're so easy and just really simple. So I'm going to take a 2x2mm crimp tube. I'm going to slide both wires into my crimp tube, and then I'll take just one wire and double it back through. You can fit 3 strands of soft flex medium into a 2x2 crimp tube, so that's something I do pretty frequently in order to connect to things. And now I'm just going to kind of play around with it until I get it where I want it. So I don't want my loop at the top to be huge, but I don't want it to be tiny. And I want it to lay pretty straight. So I'm going to kind of keep that in mind. You can either pull this up tight so that the tassel just hangs right below the bead, or you can leave it loose on the bottom too, so you're seeing a little bit more of the wire, which I do pretty often, but I think I'm just going to kind of tighten it up today and grab my crimping pliers. So Jacqueline, you need some of what? Crimps, wire, everything I'm showing today for the most part you can get from goodybeads.com. They carry soft flex too, and you can actually use their coupon code there, soft flex. It expires April 18th. Okay, so on the crimping pliers, the front hole is round and the back hole has just kind of a little itty bitty tooth. We're going to use this back hole first, and I'm trying to get in, this wire's making it funny, where you guys can see pretty well. when I compress, it's gonna compress sort of a little divot into the crimp tube, like so. So I did that back here. Now I'm gonna turn it and I'm gonna go into the front one, the rounder. And let me get in where you guys can see again. There we go. And I'm gonna compress again. So it's almost like it creates a divot and then you fold it in onto the wire, and that cinches the metal into the nylon coating of the wire, and it gives you a really nice strong hold. I'm going to take my cutters. To get in close, you do need a really good pair of cutters. I love these Softflex cutters because I can get up really close on the tip, on the very tip, and still snip, which is really nice. Get in close and snip. Somebody told me the other day, I don't know if it was on a video or where it was, that they've had their Softflex cutters for like 10 years. I was like, what? I mean, I know you can have them for a long time. It was like a bead store owner. Maybe it was Kelly. Was it Kelly last week on the design challenge? Whatever it was, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's really a long time. So they're good quality cutters. So here's my crimp cover. A crimp cover is basically like an open-faced bead. This is a 3mm crimp cover that I'm using on a 2x2mm crimp tube that's been crimped. I am going to slide it, and this may be kind of hard to do while you're watching, but I'm going to do my best. Crimp covers are so tricky. You can use the rounder in your crimping plier as well. So what I did was I just closed it down, not entirely, but I closed it. And now I'm going to come in on one side like this, and I'm going to compress. And then I'm going to come in on the other side and tuck. And that way it doesn't really slide around or slide off, especially when you've got bare wire on one side. If you don't get it tucked really nice and tight around that crimp tube, it might slide off and cause you a bunch of problems. And Mary Ellen, most people have problems with crimp covers. They are not an easy thing by any means. So there we've got a basic earring. I'm going to attach my ear wire using one of these Bali style ear wires from Goody Beads. And to do that, you're just going to open up. You can kind of see here, it opens away. Now this is going to want to slide down, so you have to hold it up kind of with your fingers just to keep it in place. And then you just slide your wire on and then just close it back up, making sure you get that loop up underneath the bead, and close it all the way so your wire doesn't slip out of there. And then you've got your basic earring. And I'll go ahead and make another one of those after the show and take a picture of them so you can see them a little bit better than you can here. Maybe if I lay it down here too, you can kind of see, although it doesn't want to lay very nicely. Really pretty. These are great Mother's Day. This reminds me of like a nice Mother's Day gift. Just like a simple, cute lampwork bead with a tassel. Really easy to do, really economical. It doesn't take a lot of wire, crimps, or time, but still looks really, really great. Okay, so let's move on. I want to work with some of these other items up here. I might even show you how Kristen did the connections on that in the book. Why don't we work with this piece here, since that was kind of exciting to see a piece so similar to what's in the book that I wrote. Seed Bead Revolution. You can get a copy from Softflex, although I think they're sold out right now. You can always get a copy on Amazon too. Okay, and if you have a copy, you guys, of Seed Bead Revolution and you haven't gone on Amazon and given me a review yet, please, please, please do that. I ask all the time because it is important for others to be able to find us. I'm going to continue on with this bone because I think it'll look really pretty with this color mix, and I kind of want to use some of these crystals here. So I'm going to do a piece hanging from the bottom there, probably about 6 inches again. Soft flax. Nice. I'm going to take, this time I'm going to use our magical crimpers, which are these ones here. And I am going to get another silver crimp tube. So soft flex crimp tubes aren't like all the rest. They have double the wall thickness of most. They are completely a tube. They're seamless. So they're very, very strong. And I just highly suggest them. I've seen all sorts of crimps out there, and it's not to say we're the only ones with good tube crimps, because we're not, but there's lots of bad ones. So if you're having crimp problems, don't put it past the fact that it might be the crimp itself and not you. I think anytime you do something new, it's easy to blame yourself as the problem. But sometimes it's just like a low quality material that you have purchased and you think is going to work, but don't realize till you're actually doing it that it doesn't work at all. Okay, so I've got my crimp tube connected to this bib plate, and I'm going to use the magical crimpers this time, and you can see with these guys on either side, the little dip in them is exactly the same. I'm going to go ahead and compress in the very dead center of the pliers. The first time, it takes the 4 corners of the tube and compresses them into what looks like a little square. And then I'm going to turn it over and just keep going in a circle. So Goody Beads, who is the partner for this particular video, is located in Minnesota, and I thought it was so cute. She said that it's the home of, where did I see that? It's the home of Prince and, land of cold weather and Prince was how Tori described where they live. So claim to fame. And obviously we all think of Minnesota when we think of cold, cold, cold weather. But Minnesota is gorgeous in the summer. I don't know if you guys have ever been. It's really, really pretty. And also like land of many lakes, right? Tori, don't you guys have like a ton of lakes in Minnesota too? So I'm definitely going to use these little this light pink color. Have you guys been seeing this light pink color as much as I have been? It's just like a really soft, soft pink. I've been seeing it a lot and I love it. I think it's so pretty. Okay, so I'm trying to decide, should I let these just sort of free float or should I lock them in place? The way Kristen did it in the book, and maybe I should do that just to show you, was she actually used her micro crimping pliers, which is going to be nearly impossible to see on here, but I'm going to show them to you anyway. If I can find a pair here, which I don't seem to have a pair. Okay, well that's not going to work. I don't have a pair readily available here. So the micro crimping pliers are just like the regular ones, but they have an even tinier tooth and rounder. So tiny that you can actually do these itty bitty crimps 1x1 crimp tubes. So to give you a comparison, this is a 2x2 here. This is a 1x1. These are fantastic if you want to lock something really small in place, like a seed bead or a 4mm crystal. You would just crimp this 1 by 1 right on the wire, and it's so tiny you can really almost barely see it. In this case, I'll just use another 2 by 2, and we'll use the magical crimpers since the crimp looks so pretty as part of the design. I think it'll work out well. So one thing I always suggest when you're going to crimp a single strand of wire is to go ahead and put an extra strand inside. And I suggest that just because it gives it a little bit more nylon for the crimp to grab onto. And then you can just trim off that extra wire after you've connected the crimp to the wire. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp. Rochelle says, and Babe and the Blue Ox. Yeah, we have a book about Minnesota, a kid's book, you know, for the girls from when we went, and it talks about Babe and the Blue Ox, but we didn't actually get to see that. Okay, so I'm going to trim my wire. So you're going to get in nice and close on both sides and just trim as close as you can to that crimp tube on both sides, and no one will ever know that there was extra wire underneath there, but it's going to give you a nice strong hold so it doesn't slip or slide around. And now I'm just going to do kind of a fun combination of colors here, just kind of random even, because all of these colors are beautiful, really beautiful together. We'll just keep beading here. I asked Tori what we should know about their company, like what's the most important thing to know about Goody Beads, and she said that they have a small but mighty team in a family environment, which sounds so much like Softflex. Most of their staff does double duty with their regular jobs of buying, marketing, customer service, and then also designing and creating jewelry. And I can relate. I can relate with that 100%. You know, I'm the sales and marketing manager, but here I am actually beading as well. And they're just a group that really loves to bead, who loves to find new and exciting bead products that they want to share with their customers. So I haven't, in all honesty, had like a really long relationship with Goody Beads. But everything I've read about them and my interactions with them in working on this design challenge have been really fantastic. And I think if you choose to try them out, you'll probably be as impressed as I am with their great service. Okay, so we've got our colored wire. Should I make it a little longer? Trying to think, I might do another one too underneath it, like another layer. So maybe we'll keep this one kind of small so we can keep layering and playing with it, making it extra special. Oh, Dale says she loves Goody Beads. Rochelle says my kind of business. Yeah, I think they're really great. I think you guys will be impressed if you haven't gotten a chance to try their services and buy something from them. I think you should use the coupon code and test them out before it expires on 4/18. And I'm pretty sure they carry Softflex too, and that's a site-wide coupon code. It's not just the items I'm showing you here today. It's all of the items on their website. So it's a really good opportunity. I'm just doing the same thing on this side that I did on the first side. So I'm just going to crimp using my magical crimpers. Hold those beads in place on the wire. Ooh, Mary Ellen has a good recommendation for them too. She says, Been buying from Goody Beads for a few years. They're excellent to deal with, fast shipping, great products, and great prices, which is really important. This day and age, you gotta get it good price on things. All right, so layer 1 is done. I am just going to crimp it up here now. This is going to be one of those crimp, 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 crimp projects. And I'm crimping again. And I'm crimping again. But sometimes that's just how it works. Okay, so the trick on here is going to be trying to get the same distance here as I have here. So let's see what we can do. And then also the other thing that's always really good to look at is if you've got 2 loops on either side, like here and here, you want those to be a similar size. If they're not a similar size, it's not going to quite look right. So make sure you kind of eye that out too. That's looking pretty good to me. I think I can go ahead and I'm going to straighten out my wires to the best of my ability, not because it'll make it hold any better, but it'll give me a nice straight connection, which will make the wire lay really nicely. Oh, Tammy says, love Goody Beads. Great service, great beads. Look at all that. That's awesome. I have not purchased from Goody Beads, but I think I'm going to, now that I have all these great recommendations. They do carry soft wax, I think, so I've known about them for a long time, but I just haven't gotten around to checking them out. Their website's beautiful. I was looking at that today. I noticed if you like the patterned leather, they have some new patterned leather, which maybe you can link to that, Tori, because I thought that was really good. It was showing right on the homepage of your website. It looked pretty awesome. Definitely something that would interest me. Rochelle says, I'll be looking right after the video. Good idea. Yeah, don't leave yet. Okay, so we've got our first. I'm going to do one more at least, maybe even 3. But I'm going to do them the same way. And so I will do those after the live video because I don't really think you need to watch me connect 3 of those. I'm just going to do a crimp the beads in the center, and then crimp on the sides. And then up here, I was thinking I might do something a little bit more ornamental. Maybe even something like, this with some crystals mixed in. I could see that as being really pretty up the back end. And I'll probably continue to use the bone, which I think has looked really pretty with this color mix. So if you've never tried the bone before, guys, it's a great color. It mixes with so many different things and it's just very neutral. It's not as bright as the white, but it does have like a really nice, easy color to use, and I tend to use it quite a bit. So I'm going to do this clasp on the back end that they sent, which will match really nicely down here. And I'm going to make this kind of a shorter necklace. So this is, up in my collarbone area. So I don't need it to be too long. So I'm going to do my wrap around my neck measurement. See what I need here. So I've got, what is this? Maybe 12 inches on each side. I always end up doing a lot more because I've got a lifetime supply of soft flax. Thanks, Mary Ellen. I really like the bone too. I think it's such a pretty color. It just like a really natural, easy color to use. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and crimp to the top here, and we'll do one of the sides together, and then I'll just mirror image the other side after the video. And I'm gonna go ahead and crimp in the same way. I'm using the 2x2 millimeter soft flex crimp tube still. And because there's a loop down here, I'm gonna kind of look down here to make this loop similar, even though it's in a different spot. I don't want it to be dramatically different, but you always do wanna leave enough room that your ring can kind of move around, that it's got some flexibility. I'm gonna go ahead and put my crimp tube inside of my crimping plier, and I will crimp in the other direction too. Go around a few times, tightening it down. This would also be really pretty and like probably feel really different if I used a different color of beading wire. So if I had chosen, like, say, the pink Tourmaline, for example, this would become even more feminine because of the pink color, which is sort of, the pink Tourmaline's kind of the same color as this bead, whereas the bone is going to kind of play down that. I think it works really nicely with this kind of tribal-ish piece too, intermixing it with such romantic parts and pieces. I'm going to go ahead and string my first bead on. I'm thinking about doing this really soft pink between the beads. You don't really want lamp work always like right on top of each other because it will kind of scrape. So it's nice to have a little bit of a buffer. I think the buffer will help kind of keep them separate and be really lovely. And then I'm going to go ahead and crimp at the top there just to hold that bead in place so it's not slipping and sliding around. And let's get a crimp tube that's going to work. 2x2 crimp tube, and I'm going to put an extra piece of soft flex. That's what all these little cuttings are for. An extra piece of soft flex inside there, and then I can slide that down as close to that bead as I can get it. And really, I think the easiest thing is to get your crimp bead centered and then pull. I'm pulling with my left hand that's holding the wire so I can get it as close as possible, and then crimp. And that way I get in there. It doesn't have to be right up next to it. It's just more so it doesn't bounce around. It stays where I originally intended it to be in the design. I don't have to worry about it slipping and sliding all over the place. Gravity will do a good job of it too, but this will just help keep it in at the spot that I want. And I'm just going to trim that wire as close as I can get. Snip it. And on the back end up here, I'm going to attach my clasp in the same way up here at the top. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side, and I'm going to add a couple more rows down here too to make this feel good. So that's good. I like this. Goody Beads says, we don't carry the magical crimper, but it looks great. Do you need special crimps? You do need good quality crimps. So there are crimps on the market that they take a flat sheet, they roll it, and so it has a seam, and they're really thin, they're really cheap. Those crimps are not going to work. They're just going to kind of fall apart. The other thing I want to note is the magical crimpers were made by the inventor, who I've spent a great deal of time with in Arizona, for soft flex. Now, you can use them with other beading wire products, but some of them have slicker nylon coatings because there's lots of different kinds of nylon, or grades of nylon, I should say, that folks use in beading wire. And some of them are a lot slicker than our beading wire, and it can be a little bit more difficult to really adhere that crimp tube into the nylon coating. You do want to make sure you have enough wire inside your crimp, like I showed, using the 2 wires, so there's enough for it to really grab onto. They're pretty awesome though, especially if you're using any of the colored beading wire. I have a ton of projects, like this is a great example, and this actually uses the bone soft flex too on the cover of Kristen's in my book. This was a design that my co-author did, Kristen, and she used the magical crimpers, but it allows you to really expose the wire in a totally different way. And the magic crimps they look so nice. Like it can really become part of the design, and just look really good. Here's a nice one that uses a bunch of crimps. The magical crimpers. They are made for the 2x2 crimps only, so it does require a specific size. Yeah, it's got a specific sized hole here. It's probably like 3 millimeter, or maybe it is 2 millimeter exactly. I don't really know, but it fits that crimp just like a glove over the top of it. So you do need to have the right sized crimp. Rochelle says she's seen a magical crimper for the 1x1s. Ooh, I've never seen that. That would be really cool to see. I know I've talked to the inventor about different sizes, but it's just never happened. But I would love to see them in a 1x1 or a 3x3. If that would be possible, I would be super, super excited. So the last thing I wanted to do, even play with this down here somewhere. Could have put that there. That would have looked really cool. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to do is I want to just hang some soft flex from this and see what that looks like, just for fun. And then I will let you guys go. But I'm going to use some colors, I think. So let me find some cool color. I really love this pink tourmaline. I think would look really nice with these colors. So I think I'll use a little bit of this for sure. And let me see if I have another color that's kind of calling out to me. I also really love our spinel. That's a hard choice. Spinel is a really pretty, lovely color. And is this spinel or is this garnet? Yeah, it's spinel. Sometimes those two are kind of similar. You know what's under? I don't have any here. I was hoping. I have got to organize my wire. Some fluorite. Fluorite's always really pretty. Well, let's start with the pink tourmaline and just do a couple. I was just so curious to see like what it would be like to hang some of the wire from there. And this might take me a couple turns to get enough on there for us to really see what's going to happen. But this will just be a quick play. All the parts and pieces today that you saw, you know, besides some of the fun colors and maybe a tool or two, but all the beads and the components and things are from Goody Beads. And so if you've joined us since I've last said it, make sure you go check out their website at goodybeads.com and see what they're offering. And they have a great coupon code here. So I'm just going to take my piece of pink tourmaline soft flex and I'm just going to wrap it. Around this bead, which I can very easily put in the center. Oops, it'll probably be easier to do it this way, wouldn't it? Yes, Sarah. Yeah. So I'm going to do a couple of these. This is probably a little long, but better too long than too short is what I always think. I can always trim it like trimming hair, but I can't grow more wire if I do it too short. I was thinking, one of the things I've always loved doing is making fringe with soft flax. I don't know if it'll work so well because of this piece here in the center, but let me see. If I keep going after the video, I might be able to get a pretty interesting piece. Especially if you can intermix some really fun colors together, it could end up being really, really cool. Go ahead, and in this case where I'm doing like a fringe, I'm not so careful to make sure that my wires don't crisscross, because in fact I kind of want them to. It makes the wires sort of go in every which direction, which looks good when there's a bunch of them doing it. This is where my thoughts are kind of going. So you can shorten these. You can put a crystal at the bottom if you want to add some crystals to make a little bit of sparkle. But my idea or thought process, and I'll kind of see if I have time to continue it, would be to do multiple colors, you know, along this whole thing, and maybe even over the top of this. But it's going to create like a really cool fringe. And let me flip up. And I would make it sort of a long necklace, you know, down here where you've got like just a ton of really cool fringe. If you did it up high, that might be kind of cool too. If it was like a shirt like this where you're going to really see all of it, it'd be really cool. So something I want to play with, I think that looks really, really neat. I think these are really cool beads that could also really, like I was showing before, really work well for a bracelet piece too and be really neat. So this was definitely a good challenge box because you guys had a lot of stuff that I haven't used before, and it was really super inspiring. So I really appreciate that, Goody Beads. Thank you for sending the box, and thank you for selling our wire. And I hope all of you will go to their website, goodybeads.com, use coupon code SOFTFLEX for 20% off. You have until April 18th. And I will finish up these projects and post pictures for you. And just to leave you on a final note about what Goody Beads is all about, they work directly with a lot of overseas factories. They're able to get original designs, exclusive designs that other bead stores don't have. So make sure when you go to their website, check out a bunch of different categories to see what they have, because they're going to have stuff that you've never seen before. You know, even like the bib plate and stuff, that can be really hard to find. So look through all of the categories. Their buyers work directly with factories to create new lampwork beads, charms, clasps, findings, and they just have a ton of really cool stuff like exclusive kit DIY kits. They carry a large line of beadable products like bead pens and key finders. So make sure you look through the whole website, take advantage of the coupon, and do me a favor, if you like this video, be sure to click that you like or love it and share it with your friends, especially your creative friends, so that they can start to watch with us and spend time with us too. And last note, next week I'll be live at beadshop.com. It will probably take me 2 hours to get across the Bay Bridge to be there, but I will be there. That's at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and it'll be on the beadshop.com Facebook page. I might try to post here if I get a chance to remind you, but try to make sure you're there. And then Simply Sonoma Kit Challenge is April 25th at 1 p.m. We'll have the new kits for next month available. hopefully at that time. And then the week after that, we're doing our next Softflex live sale on May 2nd at 1 p.m. So we've got a jam-packed schedule coming up, and I am looking forward to seeing you guys each and every week. And yeah, hopefully you don't see the big bags under my eyes. I signed my kid up for preschool this morning, and I had to get up at 5 a.m. to do it. Who knew preschool was so cutthroat? Now I know. So have a great weekend, you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.